Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well and welcome to a brand new video. And today's episode we're going to be doing some more things to this beloved beast behind me. You can see I've been a little bit busy and I'm going to talk more about where we left off in the last episode. So in the last episode we did the rear subframe and I left off just when the subframe was sort of bolted up. But I've also put all the arms back on and everything, and I'll film that in a minute. Didn't really film putting all that on camera, and I've got the rear calipers and that's still to do. So yeah, I've been tackling the bodywork, so that's going to be mostly what's going to be in this episode, the bodywork. I should have a friend of mine coming over with a four-wheel drive. He's got a winch, and we're going to try and pull the front radiator support out. So I measured it, and we've got to come out 6mm across the driver's side. So it's not too crazy, and being the rad support, it should come over fairly easy. I'll probably almost get it just with a snatch strap onto a tree. But yeah, I also wanted to take some time out just to talk about this current situation we're in right now. You know, I really do feel for anyone that's either lost their jobs or been laid off. You know, it's a very hard time, especially, you know, trying to build cars and just financially get by. My heart goes out to everyone and anyone that's in that situation. For myself, you know, I work at a supermarket, so very, very lucky, and I'm very grateful to be where I am right now. So like I said, my heart goes out to everyone, and I hope we can all get through these tough times and do the things we love, build cars and just have fun. So I just want to do a little disclaimer there, and yeah, just hope everyone's doing well out there, and we'll all get through this. So let's get away from this and get back to the car. All right, so we'll start with what I've been up to lately. So stuff I haven't filmed, I'll show you right now. So it's mostly just putting the rear arms back in. I will show you that in a minute when I jack it up, take the wheels off too. I still have to do the rear calipers. There's one line around just in there somewhere, and there's one just over near the gearbox. So I have to do calipers, handbrake lines, and then the rear end's all done again. Now to this contraption I've been up to. So you probably remember, if you have a look at the subframe video, you can see every time I pan the camera in and out, there was a big dent here, big one. So I've knocked that out with a dolly and a hammer as best as I could, and we've skim filled over the top here. Now it looks like there's a lot of filler, but I layer it on very thin. That's why I call it skim. And when you're blocking down, you know, you always use your opposite hand, because your opposite hand, you're more sensitive. So I'm right-handed, so I use my left hand, and you're more sensitive to feel any highs and lows. So if you have a low spot, high spot, whatever. So sometimes I barely use guide coat, but at the same time, guide coat's really good to use. Now if you don't know what guide coat is just very, very, very small haze of black. You spray over the filler, and then when you're rubbing it down, you can see anywhere there's a low spot, like here where my finger is, that's a little divot. That'll say black, 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 black. That's all low spots. And obviously when it stands straight away, that's your high spots. So right now I've got a high spot still just here, and I have all these aren't low spots, these are just like air pockets in the filler. So I'll just fine fill that. Same with the back here. So the back here was all sort of, this was all, had like spot welds here, so it's all been repaired. So I've skim filled over that. You can still see there's a couple of divots here, here. I still haven't sanded it. That's only been with the 100 grit, and I still got to flash it off with 120, 180. That's been flashed off with 180, and that's ready to get some fine fill put in it. Also, I've gone over the entire car with Textar, so anywhere there's a dent, any dent, I'm going to fill. If you come around to this side of the car, there's a big dent here which I'm going to get out with a from underneath, take the headliner out. And so anywhere I've done the two lines like that, that's just going to be really, really small skim filler. Anywhere that's got a circle, that's going to be actual filler, because I've got to tap this in, get rid of that crap. And yeah, so that's what I've been doing bodywork wise. My main plan is to start bodywork from the rear of the car onwards. But like I said, we're going to try and get my mate EJ over, and we're going to winch this part of the support, pull it this way. It needs to come 6mm this way, and then get to see how the headlight sort of sits a little bit over, and we're going to try and get that headlight just to fill that gap. Once the headlight fills the gap, we're ready to go and start doing this engine bay. So we'll try and get that engine bay done in this video as well. If not, it'll be in the second part. But another thing I want to try and tackle is this boot. I want to get it all painted nice and gloss black like the factory look would be. So this color, all in the inside here, painted up. And then last thing I want to do, I know it's a lot of things to try and get done. I'm not going to get the bodywork done in this episode, the whole thing, but I also want to try and get this big sucker in there. So I want to clean the tank out, and I want to repaint it all up, put all new fuel lines, new bolts, new gasket and everything, repaint the straps, and put it all up inside. So that's the plan for this episode. So hopefully we get most of that done. If not, we'll break it up into 2 parts and do as much as we can. All right, so these are the rear calipers. They're actually not in too bad condition, but I thought I'd just give them another liven up of red. So first of all, I just hit them with degreaser, gave them a bit of a clean. They are full of crap. So next thing I'm going to do is hit them with a air compressor, get all the shit out of them. I'll take this hover, taking the pads out, I'll take this hardware out, and I'll just tape up the where the brake line goes in, and we'll hit it with some red. And I'm not going to do the whole thing, but we'll do up to about this handbrake bracket and just paint it all similar red that it is now. These are actually Spirit R brakes from what I was told. So yeah, apparently I got the good brakes on this car. So I'll give them a freshen up, hit them with the air compressor, clean them up, and yeah, paint them. So the paint I'm using is just a VHT caliper paint. Highly recommend VHT, probably the best in the business. I've used it on pretty much everything I own, and yeah, they've, like that Skyline, that R31, I painted the rear brakes about 5 to 6 years ago blue, and they haven't faded at all, and I've done some hectic hill runs and gotten the brakes pretty hot. So definitely recommend VHT caliper paint, and they lay on really nice and never had any fisheye problems or bubbling or anything. So let's hope that doesn't happen now. Alright, so just a flush coat right now just to sort of get it started. I'll wheel this out into the sun, let it bake a bit, and then we'll hit it again. All covered in dust, my hard work. But you can see everything's back in there. Now I'm just gonna put those calipers on. I did just haze a little bit of black over this disc just because it was really rusty. So calipers will sort of take that back off again. Everything's looking good in here. You can see that coilover's still bent. I've got to replace the coilover, but it's enough to get it rolling. Cool, so that's the caliper on. Just got to get the handbrake line on. That's the actual brake line there, and we get the handbrake line right here. So I'll get that handbrake line on with the little fastener, and then we'll put the brake line on, which goes around the back here, and then we're good to go. So that's his caliper on. It actually wasn't too bad because this top one went in so easy, but the pain in the ass was the bottom one wasn't lining up. So you got to sort of move the disc around, move the caliper around to get it that perfect flatness that it bites the first 2 threads on the bolt. So that's it. Now we're gonna get the handbrake cable. All you have to do is just put it in this. It's hard to see, but there's a bracket down here. Handbrake cable's just in there, and you just stretch the cable around and into there, and that's your handbrake. And the brake line just goes over here. So that's it. Okay guys, so it's day 2 after doing the calipers and the other side. So I thought I'd film the left-hand quarter. So we've got a couple of dents here I'm going to do, and I'll show you exactly what we're going to be doing here. So we've got everywhere I've done 2 marks here is going to be just like a spot fill, and everywhere I've done a circle, like there, here, anywhere there's a proper circle and a line is going to be actual fill. So here doesn't need to be filled much, it more needs to be sanded back because I don't know what they've done before. They've like hit it with a wire wheel. I think they've just tried to see if there's bog behind there. That's not too bad. Here's where they did like a little repair, so I'm just going to have to skim fill here and then yeah, just hit these little bits here. I've marked up here where there's actually just some paint come off and rust, so that just needs to be sanded back. There's actually no bodywork there. There's a dent up there on the roof I got to hit. I'm going to try and get that from the inside, just pop the headliner off and knock that out. And yeah, so I'm going to try and get some filler on here. Take the tail light out, take the bar off, and then we're good to go. Also, I've ordered some side indicators and some rear indicators, so they should be coming soon. I can start making it look like a car again. And then I'm going to start ordering all my hatch trims and inside trims and that, but that'll be a later date. And then yeah, so after all this is done, we're going to try and get the inside of that boot painted all black. So yeah, so the back half of the car should start to look more like a car. Then the front half will start looking soon because I'm going to be taking all the guards and everything off. So let's get cracking on this before I start rambling and do some body work. God, those things are in tight, Jesus Christ. So I've scuffed here a little bit, but I just remembered that after we did some welding, we fixed some holes that used to be exposed here. So there's a couple of blotches of metal I just got to hit with a grinder, so I'll do that now just to get that nice and flat. I think that was a previous repair spot there, so I think there's just a couple of holes blown from welding, so that's fine. It's all welded up now, so I'll just grind it back and then we'll start applying some body filler to it. Cool, it's all grinded down now. So now I should be able to fill it and get that edge nice and straight. And after we do that, put some high fill over it and just get this looking factory again. So I'll try to use as little fill as possible, but enough just to sort of make it look like it was never there. Cool, so I've gone over, just scuffed it up with some 120 grit. There's a dent just there, so I'll just fill here. This was a high spot, so I've had to knock it in because I don't know, something's just pierced it from the inside or something. So I just knocked that in. Other than that, we just got this area, and that one to fill. And these areas up here we'll hit with some spot fill later on. But yeah, so we'll get to mixing some filler. We're just going to use some standard bog, no fiberglass paste. If you're wondering what that is, if that's real carbon, no, it's just been wrapped. I don't know what they were thinking, but yeah, it's early 2000s as fuck. But yeah, so we're gonna just hit this with some bit more 120, just get in there. Any shiny spots we're just gonna knock off, that way the filler can stick. And then yeah, I'll show you mixing some filler in a minute, and then we'll apply it on nice and thin and then sand it down. If it needs more, it needs more. If it doesn't, then win-win. Okay, so to get started, first of all, I'm using a used applicator. As long as you keep your actual this side, as long as you keep actually your surface you're going to use clean, try and get any dry spots of bog off, just so it doesn't get any lines through the filler. So now what we'll do is we'll just put a little bit of filler. I don't like to use cardboard. It's actually easy to use paper because it doesn't want to bind up inside, but I've got cardboard lying around, so I'll just use it. Now I used to have a tendency to always think that I was putting too little on, but half the time I ended up putting way too much. Just try and use as much as you think you need. I know it's easier said than done, but half the time I think it's not enough and then I end up putting too much on. So with your hardener, the way I used to get told in the panel trade is picture a golf ball to a basketball. So you only need a little bit. That's probably enough. It is a warm day today, so that should be more than enough. And just mix it in really well. And you'll see the red. It's hard with this bloody cardboard because it's got a line in the middle. So do it this way. And you'll see it going pretty red already, so. because it's a warm day, I want to try and get this on pretty fast, or fast-ish. Just try and see how if I flatten it out, I don't get any lines. That's what you want. You don't want deep gouges in your filler work. Now I think I probably made a little bit too, actually no, I think this should be enough. I thought it might have been too little, but you know, try and get every bit of filler from the cardboard in. And I think that is enough. As long as you don't see any red stripes, that's enough to apply on the car. Alright, so that's some filler work done. So you can see I've blotched a little bit more at the top here just to thicken it on the actual working area we need to, and then I've just feathered it out just so it's easier to sand. You can see this one's a little bit more rough because I've went with my finger over all the edges just to sort of, because a lot of the hard things when you're sanding filler is actually getting rid of those hard edges when you're going back from bodywork to filler. So but our working area is around here, so we want it to be built up there the most. Doesn't matter how pretty it is around the outside. And then if we need to feather it, we need to feather it. So and then this one was pretty easy. That one's just a quick blotch job, and that should sand out pretty easily. So we'll give that about probably half an hour of curing time. A lot of the times it's actually really good to actually sand the filler while it's sort of not rock hard, but still probably 3/4 curing, because it just sort of just what do you call it, just falls off. So but it gums up on the paper. That's the only downfall. So we'll give it about half an hour. If it's pretty dry, we'll just start hitting it. I'll show you the other side, how well we've got the other side. So so it probably looks a bit rough on camera, but this is smooth as hell. So smooth. And if you run your hand every direction, like I said, use opposite hand, run your hand in every direction, it feels amazing. Can't feel any highs, any lows. A couple of lows here, but that's obviously just pitting in the filler, so I'll just spot fill that. But it feels really nice. And this side as well, this side feels really good the whole way down. This was all lumpy and rapply through here. So, and even the transition from quarter into here, there's no high spots, feels nice. So that's it for this quarter, and get that other quarter done, and that's it for the rear quarters. Then we can move on. There's actually nothing on this door. There's nothing, no dents, no nothing. The other door has a few, and then we'll get this roof dent out, and then we'll start in the engine bay. Woohoo! You can tell I'm excited with progress. Alright, now that the filler has dried, it's all touch dry now, I'm going to show you how to do a guide coat. So I said before I don't usually do guide coats a lot, but I'll show you how it's done. So all you got to do is just really lightly haze over some old black paint you got lying around. So just literally just haze it, and only needs to be a little bit, and that's your guide coat there. So what happens is when you sand it, you'll see all your highs and lows spots so much easier, and you'll get a good idea of if you need to add more, or if you got a too high spot, you can knock it back in. But yeah, it just gives you a better idea where you're sanding, and helps you transition it a lot better. So we'll let that dry off, and as soon as this guide coat isn't tacky anymore, we'll start hitting it with some 120. Okay guys, so it's a few days later, and from where we left off, and I got the car actually in the garage now, so we have some room to work around, and also we have undercover because this daylight savings has stopped. It's actually a nice day today, but daylight savings has stopped, and it gets dark very early now. So now it's in the garage. I've got heaps of lighting, and you can work all into the night on it. So from where we left off, I just did some spot fill again over the last filler repairs. So I'm just going to run over them and flatten them out, then we'll hit it with some high fill primer. I've got a box over here that just came in. I'll show you what that is in a minute. But after we flush off these repairs, we'll start moving onto the inside of the boot, and I'm going to start painting all the inside all black, and this tailgate all in here, so it'll be all nice and black, gloss black. And yeah, I was going to go with the factory color code, but I'm just going to do gloss black because it's all going to be covered by trims and everything, so it should be fine. But yeah, it should look pretty OEM. But what I have here is actually brought some boot carpet. So this is brand new boot carpet online. So I'm going to sit it in there, test fit it, see how it all fits. Boot will look somewhat complete, and then we'll start stripping everything back out, and then we'll probably just run a bit of Scotch Brite over it. We won't even worry about sanding it all. Bit of prep style, and then we'll get ready to lay the black on. So let's get into it. All right, so let's hit this with some, probably start off with 100. I was going to go 80, but it's very fine fill. So we'll start off with 100, and then we'll do some 180. Or 100, 120, 180 we'll do. I think that should be enough. Alright, just went over it with some prep sole, and I'm ready to put some high build primer on it. So just let that prep sole flash off just a little bit, sort of dry off, and we'll hit it with some high fill. Okay, so now we'll let that bodywork dry off over there. So now over here I have the fuel tank out of the car. So I just gave it a blow over with the air compressor, just to get all the leaves and crap that was sitting on top of it. Also I took the sender and fuel pump unit out of it, and we just cleaned all inside there, and it has a horrible smell of old fuel. Like, it's been sitting here, I think it's been sitting out outside the guy's shop with the fuel pump unit just sitting on there with no bolts. I think water's gotten in there over time with the fuel, and it just has a horrid smell. It smelt my whole garage out. So I just put a heap of degreaser in there and shuffled it around side to side, tipped it over there, and sort of got a bit better now. So the plan is, I got some of this stuff. It's the same stuff I used under the car. So I'm just gonna, if you have a look at the factory coating, it's all anti-gravel coating. So I'm only gonna do probably from here down, because you're only gonna be able to see all that. But if I have enough material, I might just, you know, just blow over the top a little bit. But other than that, just the bottom, get the bottom looking nice and black again, and then we'll get ready to put that inside the car. Well, I wish you guys had smell-o-vision, because the fuel that just like come out of this absolutely stinks. It smells like varnish, but like just fucking terrible. So here's the tank after letting it dry for a bit. Come out really good actually. It's got that factory sort of texture to it, that finish that they use in the underbody coating, so it looks really nice. But I do have a little bit more material left, so I might just do the top half of the tank as well, just to kind of clean it up. It looks beautiful. Can't wait to put in the car. We'll paint the straps on it as well. We'll paint the straps just to satin black, and then yeah, we can do that. Woohoo! Progress is progress. And just let the paint dry here a little bit. So we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere, fellas. I sat the new boot carpet in there, starting to look a bit more complete now. Fits up quite good. It's a bit dark in here, but fits up really well. It was just eBay boot carpet, so back's looking more complete. Once this is all painted and the tail lights are and everything are back in, it's going to look so much more complete. Then I just got to start getting all the hatch trims and everything for it. So woohoo, we're doing it, we're getting there. Alright guys, so it's day number 3, three. Day number 3. And I've got the RX7 pushed out to the garage because I'm going to start taking the bumper bar off and these plastics off, and I'm going to Scotch Brite all this grey. And over here we have all this car rep black paint, aqua paint, which is what I used, which is the same base as the primer. So I'd like to keep the same product all around, just nothing will react to anything else, so keep it the same product, it should all stay the same. Well, at least that's what I think. So hopefully we can get this bumper bar off in like 2 seconds, because it's got 4 bolts holding the entire thing off. I've got it off the sides there, and we'll knock that out. Take these plastics off, run some black over it. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Let's hope it goes that easy. All right, so I've emptied the boot out. So everything is all clear. See all that dirt down the bottom there? I'm gonna blow it out all the air compressor, but this is all naked. I've moved all the trims forward. Doesn't matter if I get overspray on them because they're all getting retrimmed. I was gonna sort of layer something over the interior, but all that stuff's gonna be replaced anyway. So yeah, so I'm gonna be painting the tailgate and the inside of the boot, all gloss black. I'm not even gonna worry about masking the quarters or anything because they're all gonna be painted, and I'm gonna have to hit the orbital sander over them soon. Got all the parts down there, got everything ready to go. Just gonna hit it with a little bit of Scotch Brite, hit it with the air compressor, some Prep Sol, and then we should be good to go. So there's our first tack coat going on really smoothly. Now let's start applying some heavier colour. Okay guys, so this is the first pass over with like full coverage and that, so I'm pretty happy with how it's come out so far. It looks pretty OEM. I'm not doing like a show car build, it's not a SEMA build. It's more so we're just going to try and drive the absolute shit out of this car, so I don't want it, this is all going to be covered anyway, but I still want it to look somewhat nice. So over the back here it's sort of textured a bit where that old sticky stuff used to be, but it doesn't matter too much. It's actually looking quite nice in here. So you can see the little bits that still need to be covered there. But this is sort of the first passing, and then I'm going to do another bit thick pass of black. The tailgate actually looks really nice. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera because it's starting to get dark a bit, but it's starting to look somewhat black again. So other than that, I'm pretty happy with the outcome, and we're just going to keep going and try and get all the coverage and then hit it with some clear. So the second pass looking much better. Much better. That's no clear coat either, that's just the paint drying. You can see at the back there, you can see all the seam seal texture. That's why it looks a bit textured. Even there, that's like some soundproofing there. But the towers look really good. And the sides here, oh, it's all coming up really nice. Very happy with that. Can't wait for the clear to go on. So they're about to do the clear coat now. So clear's done. It looks absolutely amazing. I don't know if the GoPro can really pick it up because it's starting to get dark, but it looks so good. Actually, I'll put my phone torch out, hang on. It looks amazing. Very textured over there in the boot. Obviously, like I said before, it's all the sound deadener as well as the seam sealer. But like, look at that. It's amazing. Can't be happy with that. So we'll come back tomorrow once it's all dry, and we'll see how it looks as well, and we'll start bolting stuff on and see how much it looks more like an RX-7 now. It's all back inside now. We'll come back to it tomorrow. Looking really good. Looks so much better. Of course it's going to look better because it looks like it should. Alright, I'm going to start putting the back together, and then all the trims, and then we'll see how it looks with all the stuff put on it. A bit more complete. And obviously with the black and everything, it should look a bit better, because usually with the primer and even with the tail lights on, you can still see all behind it. So with the black, it should hide everything. So yeah. Look at that, that's amazing. It's amazing what difference it makes. Honestly, a few more trims to cover all this bit, and it's going to look like no work's ever been done under here. Everything fits so well at the back. Just to think, a few episodes ago we had absolutely nothing on this back end. No boot, floor, no rear tailgate. It was all looked like a skeleton. Now it's all back together. Crazy. I couldn't be happier. Looks so good. Okay guys, so I'm going to end part number 6 there. I've got a lot of work done, so I'm pretty happy with the car, and yeah, a lot of progress. Sorry it's dragged for over 30 minutes because you know, I tried to fit as much as I could in one episode. I didn't want to break them up into a million different episodes. Some of you may like that, some of you may not. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this part. Next episode we're going to try and tackle the engine bay. I'm going to do the engine bay, pull that radiator support out, and then do all the engine bay prep work and then paint it. And then I want to try and get the engine and gearbox in a couple weeks time. So that's my goal. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. That'll mean the world to me. And like the video if you want to see more of this build. If you want to, you know, follow the entire build, that'll be awesome. So yeah, we'll see you in part 7. So take care everyone, enjoy isolation, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.